Brilliant. So, Raj, how much have you lost so far on your journey?
So far, so I'm about 20 weeks in, and I've lost 26 pounds, I think it is. So I'm just shy of 2 stones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And two holidays, is that right?
Yeah, 2 holidays in between, which accounts for 4 weeks. So yeah, sometimes in my head I try and think actually it's less weeks than it actually is. But
Yeah.
because those 2 weeks were pretty good actually. The first week I had a level week, so I didn't put on the first holiday. I didn't put on anything, so I stayed at net zero, so didn't gain, didn't lose, and so that was really pleasing. And the second holiday I did put on, that was a longer holiday. That's for 3 weeks, and I only put on £2, and I
It's not
lost
bad.
that within the first week of coming back. So yeah, I was really
Brilliant.
happy and proud of that.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose my first question would be, what have you achieved or what are you most proud of
yeah.
since you started this journey?
Um, well, I think the fact I'm still on it is great.
Mhm.
Because we want this to be a thing that we get to our target and carry on living it. So the fact I'm still here, still talking to you, still on the group
Yeah,
is really positive, I think, and it's I think testament to the fact that it's going really well for me.
yeah,
Still a long way to go. In my mind, the target is to lose another 2 stones after the first 2 stones. So it's still a journey to go. But yeah, I think that the fact I'm still here and still going and still living it and still confident that I can get there is
yeah.
something to be proud of, really.
I think if we're looking at things as having a new lifestyle, that's
Yeah,
really a new us that are living our
yeah,
lives. And
yeah,
that doesn't happen with a decision, really. That happens with practice.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and so, yeah, I think certainly it looks like you're making small changes, here and there, and that's how you make it a lifestyle. There's no reason
yeah.
why when this would end, we finish working with me, that there isn't a normal to go back to. I think that you are
Yeah.
building your new normal with each week that passes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think in the group, and we've talked a bit about that at the end of it, whenever you've reached your target, whatever that is, you're not gonna revert back to how you were before you started. This is your new way of living, really,
Yeah,
and the new way of eating, a new way of how you interact with people, and your relationship with food. So yeah, and I'm feeling that now actually. Yeah, not even at the end of the journey, but I'm feeling as if um, this is the new way I will carry on. Once I've
living.
reached my target. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good.
brilliant, brilliant. And what caused you to start? What made you decide that you were
Yeah.
ready to start?
Um, well, I guess like many people, who are interested in losing weight with social media, you get lots of things popping up on your feed
Mm,
about um, ways to potentially do it and different approaches. And so I was probably like most people in that aspect, and I saw your posts pop up every now and then I started to follow them. And I had been thinking about joining something because for me, I felt I needed some support, like in a lot of things, to have a support network
mm,
helps you progress, I think.
yeah,
And so I probably saw your feeds for about, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks. And I was like, oh, maybe I should go for this. Maybe I should go for this. Try and get on and see how we can progress. And then eventually, I thought, right, I just said, right, let's give you a call, have a chat, and see if this is something we can get on board with and maybe start. So, but prior to that, for me, I've been overweight for most of my life. I'm 55 now. Probably since I was about 12 years old, I've been fat really, always the overweight sort of kid, and so I've been trying a lot. But now I feel it's a long way down the line, but I feel I have all the information and knowledge I need to make this work, and it seems to be working. So, but
good.
that's
Yeah,
what triggered me to call you, really.
amazing.
Yeah,
So, if you had any advice for someone who hadn't started their new journey
yeah,
yet towards their new selves,
yeah,
what advice could you give to someone who's out there maybe seeing this and
yeah,
thinking that they have to do something but they're not quite sure what?
yeah. Well, I would say take the step. Often that's the hardest part or the hardest thing to get going is to take the step, right? As I said, I'd seen your videos and I was thinking, should I call? And there's a bit of apprehension about it, but you have to take the step. And, for me and many others, you don't look back afterwards. You start to progress, you see some progress, you feel better, you feel you're eating better, you feel a bit happy, you feel happier. But it's often, in many cases, not just weight loss. It's that first step and recognition that, okay, you need to maybe get some assistance. I don't know, help maybe isn't the right word, but it's just a support network really to encourage you, help share information, all of those things.
I think that some ideas, some support, someone believing in you, a little bit of accountability, not
Yeah,
massive things, just
yeah,
having sort of that little bit of support, as you say.
yeah,
I think that goes an awful long way.
yeah. And I think for me, definitely, and I'm sure for a lot of people, just knowing that I can give you a call if I need to, or I could maybe post it on the chat and get some feedback if I have a certain issue. There's a bit of comfort factor there, I think, well, which really helps.
Good, good. And so if someone has started their journey and they are struggling, what
Mm.
advice might you give? I mean, have
Yeah.
you experienced that yourself on this journey?
Um, I've sort of so again, something that I think is quite common is you go through ups and downs in terms of your actual physical weight loss. So some weeks you may have better weeks, and then you start thinking, oh, if I could do that every week, that would be fantastic. Like, I've had a few weeks where I've lost 3 pounds, let's say, for example. Other weeks I've lost very little, either a quarter of a pound. So it can vary. And I think then you start to think maybe your conviction starts to wane a little bit and think, oh, is this going to work for me? Because last week I lost 3 pounds. This week I've only lost a quarter. Um, and you maybe start to doubt yourself a bit. And I did a little bit. But what I've realized is for me, as long as you're heading in the right direction, whether it's 3 pounds or a quarter pound, that's the scales. But there's also how you're feeling, right? How you're feeling in your clothes, your mood, your disposition around other people. As I've at the point I'm at now, I've lost almost 2 stones and I'm growing out now. And I just feel I have a constant smile on my face as well. So it's
Good.
feeling really great. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a struggle, but I think I've come to realize that my journey is not losing 3 pounds every week. My journey is try and lose something every week. And as long as you're losing a little something, that's fine. And some weeks you may not lose anything, and that's fine also.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. So what would you say your biggest piece of learning has been on this journey?
Um, well, definitely around nutrition, because I think a lot of times you think what you're eating is good for you and healthy and helps in the weight loss, but actually, if you look a bit further, it actually may not be the best for you. And that's just an education thing, I think, learning about carbs and fats and everything else. So that, from a nutritional aspect, I think I've learned a lot about making sure you try and eat the things that really help you move forward and progress. Um, I think learning about yourself as well has been really enlightening as well in terms of behaviors, um, and learning to recognize when when you start struggling to that it's conscious and to be knowingly, it has to be conscious decisions that you're making around the food you eat. And I know sometimes whether we've had a busy day or a stressful day, sometimes that consciousness goes out of your mind and you eat out of habit. So I've learned to try and control that a little bit, and be cognizant if I'm about to, raid the fridge, raid the cupboard, and just sort of make conscious decisions about the things you're eating. I think has been the biggest learning path for me, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, you've had work dues, as we would call them in
Yeah,
Scotland,
yeah,
and like family days out and concerts and
yeah,
things.
yeah.
You haven't stopped living in any way, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think I said to you once, I don't think I've ever had a perfect week, right? Where you've thought to yourself, this week's been perfect. I've eaten really well. I've got some walking in. I've never had one. I've not had any chocolate. I've never had a week like that. But most weeks out of the 19, 20 weeks, as I said, most weeks I've lost something. So what that's taught me is you can still have those treats. Um, you can still enjoy yourself. You shouldn't feel bad if you've had a treat. It's just one thing, and if it makes you feel good, that's okay. But as we know, all things in moderation are good. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that perfect week, but maybe I'll never have it, and maybe you do never have it. Maybe, but you can still progress. That's the key thing.
yeah. Or maybe the perfect week isn't the week that you manage to abstain from all things that are
Yeah,
considered treats. Maybe the perfect week is sometime with the family, sleeping quite well, getting out in
yeah,
nature for a walk.
yeah,
Your mood being good most days. Maybe
yeah,
that's closer to a perfect week
yeah,
than immaculate food choices for weight loss.
yeah. There's that saying, I forget what it is, but something like perfection is the enemy of progress, or something to that words to those effects. And I think that's true. You don't want to spend your time beating yourself up over little things, which in the grand scheme of things don't hamper your progress. Um,
Yeah,
I did have to learn. I think it's natural sometimes when you have maybe a slice of pizza or some chocolate, you might think, "Oh, I shouldn't have had that," and you can get a bit down on yourself. But I'm learning to not do that, and okay, enjoy it, right? Enjoy that small bit of pizza or that bit of chocolate and your social event with your friends. But knowing that you have the knowledge of what to do to carry on and eat well and feel healthy and start and carry on losing weight. I feel confident now because, for example, when I came back off holiday and I put on 2 pounds, I didn't feel too bad because I knew what to do to get rid of it.
yeah, yeah.
So that that
And
that gets ingrained in your thinking and your behaviors.
yeah, yeah. Um, I would like to think of a healthy lifestyle as I live a healthy lifestyle and I had a bit of pizza last night. Not the bit of pizza negates the fact, that
Yeah,
the healthy lifestyle.
yeah,
It doesn't. It's sort of an and thing rather than an or thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not an absolute. You had pizza, that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
feel like that a bit about the scales as well. I know there's a lot of chat on the group chat about the scales. And again, I think I've come to learn and realize that's just one metric for measuring your progress.
yeah.
And there are other metrics. And the fact that if you look at the scales and you've not lost anything, or you've lost more, or you've not lost it, what you feel is enough, or even if indeed if you put on something, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So I try and just use it as one measurement out of a number of measurements about how I'm
Yeah.
feeling and the progress.
Yeah. I'm trying to discourage people hanging their happiness on the scales. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
scales cause far more stress and worry than happiness.
yeah,
That's what I've seen.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it can, maybe it's natural to some degree, it can really turn your mood if the scale doesn't reflect what you want it to reflect.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm getting better at not letting it do that to how I live that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like a pretty darn good journey thus far then.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it still. I mean, as I said, we're about 20 weeks in, and um as you know, I've sort of been telling people for my own accountability, so I have different social groups and I keep them updated. I said at the beginning, I'm gonna ping you every now and again about how I'm getting on, just so for my own accountability.
Yeah.
A few people at work know about it, and obviously my family at home. So, and I've had some nice comments about people can see the change. So that's great and encouraging as well, always.
Good. No, I think it's going very well.
So, so yeah, no, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next. I guess my next immediate target, or I guess, is the run up to Christmas. So, I think in my mind, I've started to think, well, if I can lose a pound every week, I would be really happy with that. And that will get me to where I want to go.
Mhm. Very well. And there will be weeks when you lose
So,
more.
and
You
other
know.
people, yeah, potentially, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking more of an
Yeah.
average. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm sure I'll have, as I said earlier, weeks where I seem to lose more, weeks where I seem to lose a bit less. But yeah, as long as it's heading in the right direction, that's what's sort of keeping me focused, I think.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing your story, your journey,
no
with,
problem.
you know, people that might be seeing this. And,
Yeah,
I think if people can realize that it's just normal people living their life, not suddenly joining a gym and going 7 days a week and who having to run
yeah,
100 miles a week. It's actually just little changes, and
yeah,
it's mood and it's sleep and it's sort of how you see yourself.
yeah,
And it's much bigger than waistline.
yeah. And actually, that's one of the things I've learned as well, because I always thought that if you wanted to lose weight, you have to do lots of exercise. And I know it's sort of, well, I don't know if it is common knowledge, but there's that saying that you can't outrun a bad diet. And to me, that's a really important uh, thing to know. And maybe there's people who are grappling with that. It's main for me. I think it's more about your nutrition in terms of weight loss. Obviously, the exercise helps with lots of other things as well, and it also can help you lose some calories. But it's exercise helps with your moods, your sleeping, and everything else. But you can still lose weight without doing tons of exercise. I mean, I walk. I try and walk every day. That's my main form of exercise. To not obviously try and walk. I try and walk briskly, but I'm not running 30 minutes or anything like that. And you can still lose weight because of your nutrition and your good nutrition. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has
absolutely.
been a bit of a revelation, actually, I must say.
Yeah,
And I think
fantastic.
hearing that is really, I think when people hear that, they will think, I don't have to, as I said, I don't have to run really hard for a long time or lift tons of weights, spend every day in the gym. You can still lose weight without doing that stuff.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think I think a lot that would encourage a lot of people to hear that. I think
I would hope
it
so.
encouraged me anyway.
No, I mean, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah,
You can lose as much weight really as you want to just with
yeah,
what you eat.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So yes, I think we have built a diet up to some this big, scary, horrible, uncomfortable thing that we have to sort of torture ourselves to try and achieve that thing being thin, and that somehow that's
yeah,
happy. That's not it. That's wrong.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
I must admit, I think I held that view as well for a long time, which was, um, oh, if I was thin, I would be happier. And maybe that's still I'm sure people still have that perception that if you are overweight, you think that if you were thin, all the other issues in your life, all the things around you would change, and it may not. Um, there's lots more to life than being thin
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
happiness.
I
So
mean, it's good to be at a weight that you're comfortable and confident
yeah, yeah,
at and healthy, of course.
yeah,
It's just not an automatic result. Happiness is not an automatic
yeah,
result of being thin.
yeah,
That's for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, so it's really interesting. But thank you very much for your time.
Oh, no problem. No, it's been
That's
great chatting, and yeah, hopefully we'll see how it goes up to Christmas and into next year. But I'm feeling good about it.
yeah, absolutely. And I think I get a calm from you that it's kind of know what you're doing. You're going to have some days that are
Yeah,
not losing days. You're going to try and
yeah,
keep walking. And sometimes you send me a picture when you're out walking, somewhere
yeah,
beautiful, even if it's just the park. And I
yeah,
always detect that you're quite happy. I get
yeah,
that impression that you're happy that you're out in fresh air. And
yeah. No, it's nice, and I tend to go and walk on my own, but which I like actually. It's just nice to have your own thoughts and clear your head a little bit.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess with winter coming in as well now, autumn and winter, I'm just trying to think or hope that we get some nice. I don't mind the cold so much. It's the wet that's a little bit harder to go
yeah,
out and walk in. But um, yeah, we'll see how it goes and run up to Christmas in terms of walk.
yeah, yeah. Well, I have absolutely every faith that you'll get to where you want to be, and you
Yeah,
certainly
I,
have
I
valuable.
yeah, I do as well. I hope because I think I pinged you the other day about the clothes, and I ordered some new jeans the other day, which was nice. So
Nice feeling, isn't it?
but it's nice. Yeah, it's good. Because it was like, and yesterday when I was out, I put my suit on, which I hadn't done before I started this journey. It was looking a bit big on me and a bit baggy, so that was nice as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yep, keep the wins coming then.
yeah, yeah. We'll keep you up to date, and on the chat. It's nice to just see what people are talking about and get some information from there. It's nice because you often get nuggets of information that you think, oh, I've never thought of it like that, or oh, let me try that.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
really helpful as well.
Yeah. It's like two minds are better than one, but there's 200 minds.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Fab. Brilliant. Well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And
we'll do it.
we shall speak soon.
All right, take it easy.
Take care, buddy.
See ya.
See you later
Bye
on.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a
Bye-bye.
good